Our first headline this week is from Headline USA's Jose Nino about migrant children who were used to sex traffic other migrant children. In a criminal referral last month, Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley claimed that more than 65,000 reports of concern, including over 7,300 allegations of migrant child sex trafficking, were ignored or dismissed under the Biden-Harris administration. Grassley also claims in the referral that as many as 19 unaccompanied minor children were sent to the same apartment address. Rather, the tenant is an NBA player with questionable decision-making skills, or most likely this is an indicator of fraud. Also alleged by Grassley is that unaccompanied migrant children in the U.S. were sometimes used as sponsors for other migrant children in an apparent labor/sex trafficking scheme. The current Trump administration has begun its work on the backlog of these cases, processing about 28% of them in just over 100 days. So far, this effort has netted 3 convictions. But we want to know what you think the end result of Grassley's criminal referral to the FBI and DHS will be. You can leave your comments on headlineusa.com at the bottom of the article, and make sure to subscribe for free to get articles like this sent to your email inbox. Next, we have a report from Headline USA Editor-in-Chief Ken Silva, which states that Jeffrey Epstein invested with J.D. Vance's mentor, Peter Thiel. According to the New York Times, in 2015 and 2016, Jeffrey Epstein put $40 million into 2 funds managed by Valar Ventures, which is a New York firm co-founded by Thiel. And today, that investment is worth $170 million. Gee, I guess that was just a really smart investment, right? The Times article also says that the investment in Valar, which specializes in providing startup capital to financial services tech companies, is the largest asset still held by Jeffrey Epstein's estate. Ken mentions in the article that also in 2015, Thiel's Mithril Capital hired J.D. Vance as a partner, and Vance wrote his book, Hillbilly Elegy, while working there. Although the book mentioning nothing of the reenactment of deliverance with Epstein or any of his associates. Ken also mentions in his article that it was once projected that Epstein's estate would shrink to less than $40 million, down from $600 million once all payments to Jeffrey's victims were made. But the Times also revealed that Epstein's estate made back $165 million it paid to the 135 victims of Jeffrey's crimes. That was all thanks to the IRS providing the Epstein estate with a $111.6 million tax refund last fall. Man, I wonder who does their taxes. That's quite a return, right? This now leaves the estate of Epstein with a total of assets that has grown from $145 million to $170 million in around 6 months, and none of the tax return will go to any victims. But don't worry, folks. Peter Thiel's Palantir has reportedly received more than $113 million from the federal government since President Trump has taken office. With its new product Foundry, Palantir gets to work its way into numerous federal agencies and spy on us all. So justice prevails, right? We want to hear what you have to say about this on X. Give us a follow and leave a comment underneath this video. Also from Ken Silva this week, we have a headline about a 73-year-old man who's being indicted for threatening then candidate and eventual president-elect Donald Trump. In an indictment last Tuesday from the DOJ, it's alleged that 73-year-old Thomas Eugene Strevel made threatening Facebook posts about Trump last year, echoing the previous Biden administration's pursuit of Greg Robertson back in 2023 for similar threats against Biden. However, that case resulted in an FBI raid that I guess you could say went wrong when the 75-year-old Utah man was killed. We are all definitely safer now that the nearly 300-pound Robertson, who couldn't even walk without a cane, is no longer a legitimate threat to democracy. Back to our other elderly potential killer. After allegedly making certain Facebook posts praying that someone like him would blow Trump's brains out on Facebook, but confusingly in a place where none of his friends could read. Strevel is said to have posted that he hopes to be Trump's assassin and that he won't rest till he's 6 feet under. No word yet if any memes of WWE's The Undertaker were included with that statement. The Secret Service, always on top of things, investigated the case but didn't bother to even interview Strevel to make sure that these threats could be considered legit. Instead, he was indicted behind closed doors after his arrest last week and faces 15 years in prison. The DOJ even sought pretrial detention for Strevel because they said he was a flight risk. But he has been released on $10,000 bond. Do you all feel safe that this potential presidential assassin is out on the streets? Leave a comment under this video on YouTube and make sure to subscribe. Lastly, this week we wrap things up with another one from Ken Silva, this one being about undercover spies pretending to be disabled and targeting college students. Thanks to a report from The Guardian, it has come out that the University of Michigan has spent $800,000 on a private security firm to spy on pro-Palestine student groups. The firm, City Shield, is accused by The Guardian of using controversial tactics after one investigator pretended to be retarded when his cover was blown. Apparently, that investigator has never seen the movie Tropic Thunder. Ken makes note of other information contained in the Guardian report that the investigation into these students was largely an intimidation tactic that resulted in the interview of at least 5 students. The students were all followed, and also the students have claimed that they were sworn at by investigators, threatened, and that in one case an attempted vehicular homicide was thwarted when the student jumped out of the way of an investigator's vehicle. The attempted murder by vehicle was not captured on video when last checked, but this incredible footage of an investigator being confronted by one of the people he was stalking is.
Are you still handicapped? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? Hi, how you doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know U of M had special needs kids. Cool.
I didn't know people... Oh, whatever. That was actually really...
Then, after the retarded plan fails, the investigator begins shouting that the people who called him out are trying to mug him.
What was that? I obviously got you now. You too.
You got me doing what?
I heard you.
Step back.
You can cover your face. Oh, you see my arm?
I'm feeling.
You see the
I'm being
extra
threatened.
space?
He's threatening me.
Uh-huh.
He's threatening me.
Uh-huh. And this lady, you want to follow
He
me
wants my
too?
wallet. He wants my wallet.
You're right.
I guess when you're a retarded hammer, everything looks like a screw. It's hard to find good investigators these days. Maybe if the University of Michigan spent even more money on this, instead of, teaching students, it could afford some really nice helmets with pro-Israel stickers on them. Hopefully one with Benjamin Netanyahu as a well-endowed unicorn centaur next to a pot of golden bombs that says courtesy of the U.S. taxpayer. Come back next week to see what makes the tape.